Hi, I'm Alistair Atkin from Atkin Guitars. This is Paul Waller, who works here as well. We're going to do a little comparison video of our White Rice model and the D37, which are essentially the same guitar but with a couple of differences. So in this video, hopefully we'll get a view as to whether one sounds different to another, whether we can pick that up. The D37 is our version of a pre-war dreadnought, and its appointments are very similar in every way. There's videos about the D37 that are far longer, and you can get into the real minutiae of what it's all about. But it's a classic pre-war dreadnought. This is also a classic pre-war dreadnought, but this is based on the Clarence White dreadnought that's infamous in the bluegrass world. Clarence White famously wanted an old pre-war dreadnought, and he couldn't afford one, and I don't think he could find one either. So in the end, he found this sort of bag of bits that a luthier had, or a shop, and he took it to a luthier, and that person put it back together and made this sort of Frankenstein guitar, which had fretboard from a Gretsch. I can't quite remember all the different elements of that. It ended up having this unique sound, and it was so revered in the bluegrass world. When Clarence White died, the guitar, I think, was either sold or left to somebody, and Tony Rice, the bluegrass legend, remembered how much he loved that guitar, and he tracked it down. And so he bought that guitar and had it sort of restored again, and he played that for probably 30 or 40 years, I think. And it was regarded as one of the best D28s out there. Now, I've never played that guitar, but I've met people who have played that guitar, and we then worked a lot to sort of, at the time I started thinking, right, I'd like to make a version of that, and this is it. We developed it, and there's some really good videos that we made from about 10 years ago explaining the development of the White Rice and the sort of journey it took. But now we've been making this for a number of years. This is a guitar that we make a good few of a year. But the main differences are these. It has a bound fingerboard, which doesn't actually make a difference to a sound, in my opinion. I'm sure there'll be somebody who says it does, but it might make a difference to a feel of a guitar. Certainly as the guitar gets older, it could make a difference. But the biggest thing is the sound hole. And the sound hole on a White Rice is 119 millimeters wide, as opposed to a D37, which is 102 millimeters. So that changes the way that the sound is projected out towards the audience. And again, in a recording studio, you'd notice a difference. We've made lots of guitars of all shapes with a large sound hole. And occasionally I've thought to myself, I wonder why we don't make all of our guitars with a large sound hole, because it does really project nicely. I think what we're going to do, Paul might have a few more moves than me for this sort of playing, but if we compare the two and see whether we can find that difference, and hopefully the microphone will pick that up, it could be an interesting thing for you guys to decide whether a White Rice is for you or not. Okay, so let's try the D37 first. Okay, give it a bang. Give it a... Okay, let's try the White Rice. Now I'm sitting right opposite it as well, so I can really hear what's going on. is more bass and more mids. And I think the trebles are all still there, but those basses and mids are coming up behind it.
Yeah.
And are you picking up on that? Yeah, it's a really interesting one, that, because you could see a reason for both of them, and I'm not trying to just say that, but this one has more clarity in the tops and the mids, and that one has more bass in and mid going on.
It's like the sort of cherry on the cake kind of thing.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? So yeah, and then you wonder what the sort of reason for that being such a classic bluegrass instrument would be, and how. What do you reckon? What do you think that? I mean, obviously we can't tell how close to the original that sounds.
No, of course.
But we've made enough of them to know that there's a consistency there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what might be another interesting thing is that we've got a second one of these on the shelf. So I'll go and get it. Okay, so this is a second white rice that we just finished for somebody. So should we do a comparison between the first white rice and the second white rice?
Yeah.
Do you want to play that one a little bit more? Right, try that. Saucy. Right, quickly play that other dreadnought while it's in my head. Okay, so I think these two sound really similar.
Yeah.
I mean, almost the same.
Yeah, they feel similar. I mean, not just dimensionally, but in terms of sonically, they feel like they've got.
Yeah. And so I what's that told us? Well, the consistency between these guitars is there. Try something a bit slower. I think they were made for Oasis, these guitars, weren't they?
I very nearly did play an Oasis. Yeah. I think for copyright, I just thought, I wrote my own song there on the spot.
Yeah. You got a preference?
I like this one.
I do. Yeah, same as that. I think that one's just picking it at the post, and it seems to have a bit more sort of clarity, maybe, at the moment. But both these guitars have been finished at the same time, so they were finished just before Christmas. It's now January the 6th, and they change the more you play them. I'd say neither of these guitars have been played for more than 2 minutes.
Yeah,
or 5 minutes when they were...
What you've seen here after it was built.
Yeah. So there you go. That's the white rice, or two white rices versus the D37. If you have a preference, let us know. If that's really confused you, let us know. We can confuse people very easily. So yeah, thanks for watching the channel. Please like and subscribe. Tell all your friends, and tune in for more if you like to. Thank you.